So what if I told you that there was an exercise that was so powerful that it could change the pH of your blood? It could make it more acid or more alkaline in minutes. What if this same exercise could boost your digestion, lower your heart rate, lower your cortisol levels, and help you go to sleep at night? What if the same exercise practiced in an extreme fashion could create LSD-like experiences, out-of-body experiences? This exercise I'm talking about is something you're doing right now without even thinking about it. My name is Rockwood. As Jose mentioned, I'm a yoga teacher, and what I'm talking about here are breathing exercises. And breathing exercises, done correctly, done safely, are one of the most powerful ways to control your mind and your body, your nervous system, your endocrine system. But if you practice them recklessly, they can cause a whole bunch of problems. You can black out, you can screw up your digestion, you can have anxiety attacks as well. Now, breathing for most of us is something that's just totally automatic. In fact, it's controlled by our autonomic nervous system. It happens all by itself. For example, you're crossing the street and a car swerves into your crosswalk and almost hits you. My question to you is, what do? Do you inhale or do you exhale? You inhale. You cover your heart, you cover your crotch, and you get out of the way, right? Fight or flight. It's a sympathetic nervous system response. Now, many people, in fact, many of you, are breathing this way, as if you're about to be hit by a car, all day long. Now, imagine what that does to your mind and your body and your life. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, let's imagine that you're out on a romantic date with that special someone, and after dinner, she leans over and whispers those 3 magic words. She says, "I love you," right? What do? Do you inhale or do you exhale? You exhale. You open your heart, you open your crotch, you fall in love, right? Parasympathetic nervous system response. Now, here's the sad thing. Many people, in fact, many of you in this room, you haven't felt that, you haven't breathed that way in a really, really long time. Imagine what that does to your mind and your body and your life. Just as a little side note here, if the last time you fell in love, you inhaled and covered your heart, I have some bad news for you, my friend. Run, right? I'm sharing with you these examples tonight because it's important that you realize you already understand the autonomic part, the automatic part, right? Inhale fear, exhale love, inhale excited, exhale peace. You understand that part. What you probably don't understand is you can override that part, meaning you can take control over your nervous system, and that's what I'd like to share with you this evening with 3 simple concepts: water, whiskey, and coffee. Water breathing, whiskey breathing, and coffee breathing. So water breathing, as the name suggests, just like water, it's always good, right? Early morning, late at night, feeling stressed, not whatever. Water is always a good option. It's your go-to practice. Come back to it again and again, but it has to be trained. You're not doing it now. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, whiskey breathing, as the name suggests, a little bit of whiskey now and then, no problem, right? You fall asleep, no big deal, but if you overuse it too much, too often, you'll get sick, you'll get groggy, all kinds of health problems. Same thing with whiskey breath. We primarily use it as a sleeping aid. Last but not least, we have coffee breathing. And again, as the name suggests, a little bit of coffee once in a while, no problem, right? You have a long drive, you need to stay up, you have jet lag, you need to overcome it. A little bit of coffee, no big deal. If you overuse it all the time, you can completely screw up your digestion. You can have overwhelming anxiety. You get that kind of wired but tired feeling that none of us are looking for. So these are the 3 practices I'd like to share with you today, but let's set aside the theory for a moment, and if you'd be so kind, we'll jump right into some practices which hopefully will allow you to actually feel those in your body, and then we'll step back to the theory. So if I could, I'd ask you to sit back in your chair, place your hands on your legs, relax your face, relax your shoulders, and close your eyes. We'll start with water breathing. It's a very simple practice. It's a 4-4 count. You inhale to the count of 4, you exhale to the count of 4. Don't worry, you don't have to count, I'll count for you. So you relax, your eyes are closed, your face is relaxed, and off we go. Inhale through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale through your nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale through your nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. You keep breathing. I'll explain what's going on here. This balanced breathing, the most important thing is the rate. We're at 4 to 6 breaths per minute. It's about half your normal rate. So we've taken your rate that you walked in off the street, we chopped it in half. We're at 4 to 6 breaths per minute. And this is where we get that balancing effect on your nervous system. If you're up, it'll bring you down. If you're down, it'll bring you up. Really, really powerful. This is our go-to practice. I'm telling you, you're not good at this. You have to practice this again and again, just like water. Many of you are carrying a water bottle with you this evening. You want to carry this practice with you as well. Next, let's take a look at whiskey breathing. Now, whiskey breathing, as we mentioned, we use it with care primarily to fall asleep, but let's do it as an exercise tonight. Same position. Relax in your chair. I can see you're enjoying this. Hands are on your lap. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. Exactly the same as last time. We're breathing in and out through our nose. The only difference is this time we'll inhale to the count of 4. And on the way out, we'll double it. We'll go to the count of 8. I'll do the counting. You do the breathing. Relax body. Here we go. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You keep breathing. I'll explain what's going on. After 10 rounds of this whiskey breathing, your heart rate slows. You can measure it. It's really easy. Your heart rate drops, your blood pressure drops, and we stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your rest and digest, your fall in love, your peace and relaxation side of your nervous system, and that gets stimulated. That's a big, long explanation. Basically, you get really tired and you can fall asleep, right? So whiskey breathing is very, very useful, but we want to use it with care at the appropriate time. We'll practice one more this evening. It's coffee breathing. This is the one people get most excited about, but we use it the most sparingly. Coffee breathing is very different than the other two practices. To do it, we focus just on the exhale. And we don't worry about inhale at all. We just push the air out, and it looks and feels just like a sneeze. I'll show you what it looks like. Hey, why are you laughing? So we exhale through our nose, we make sharp shooting breaths. You do your best to try not to move your face, your shoulders, your chest. Try to make all the energy happen from down here in your lower abdomen. It's an unusual way to breathe. Remember, we don't inhale. We just exhale. We'll do 20 rounds together. I'll count you down. Close your eyes so you don't look so funny. Body's relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. 3, 2, 1. We exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eyes are closed. Body's relaxed. Breath is normal. Eyes are closed. Body's relaxed. Breath is normal. Some of you weren't participating. Let's try again this time. Shoulders are relaxed, chest is relaxed. Again, it's a sneeze. It feels like a sneeze. Just remember, forget about the inhale. Just exhale. 3, 2, 1. We exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eyes are closed, body's relaxed, breath is normal. Try to keep your face still this time, shoulders still. All the work's happening in your lower abdomen. It's a funny way to breathe. We'll do one more time. 3, 2, 1. We exhale, 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 exhale. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eyes closed, body relaxed. Let me explain this practice to you. This fast, rapid breath, it stimulates your sympathetic nervous system. This is your fight or flight response. This is the clean the house and answer emails nervous system response that we're looking for. We want to use this very, very sparingly. If you do it too much, too often, you can get really agitated. But what we're doing here is cranking up our body, and we want to use it with care. So what we've just done here, water, whiskey, and coffee, the technical name for this is a yoga speedball, right? We basically mixed all of these things together. You wouldn't normally do this. We did this for the sake of learning. In our normal life, in our everyday life, we'd break these three practices up, and we'd do them at different times, at appropriate times of the day. So when is the appropriate time? Let's break it down. Water breathing, like the name suggests, always good. Anytime you need balance in your life, come back to water breathing. It's 4 on the way in It's 4 on the way out. Stressful day at the office, hectic commute, whatever it is. You sit down, you take 10 breaths, count 4 on the way in, 4 on the way out. And again, it's just like taking a sip of water. When we look at whiskey breathing, primarily, let's just think about this as a put me to sleep without alcohol or pills, right? This is how we'll use this. You come home from work and you're agitated, your phone's lighting up with notifications, your head's buzzing. I'd like you to lie down in bed, count, inhale for that 4 count, and exhale for that 8 count. Inhale for that 4 count, and exhale for that 8 count. You can do that for 10 rounds, or just keep going until you fall asleep. That works really well as well. Last but not least is coffee breathing. This is the one you get most excited about. I need to throttle this. You got to be really careful with this one. Use it sparingly. Here's your prescription. 3 rounds of 20 in the morning, 3 rounds of 20 right before exercise, right? Sympathetic nervous system response, get cranked up to start moving, and 3 rounds of 20 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when normally you'll reach for a sugary snack. When we look at health and wellness, there's so many different things we can optimize for, right? There's diet, and there's movement, and there's sleep optimization. All of that stuff is wonderful, but none of that stuff is as powerful or as immediate as breathing. Remember when you were born, when you came into this world, you probably don't remember, but when you were born, when you came into this world, the very first thing that you did was you inhaled, right? And when you leave us, when you die, if you die peacefully, you will die on an exhale, right? And between that first breath and that last breath, what most of us do is our nervous system just gets bounced around, bang back and forth. We're responding to our environment on autopilot all day long. So my challenge to you, my question for you is, how could the quality of your life improve if you stopped being on autopilot and started taking control of your mind and your body and your nervous system using these 3 simple practices we've done today: water, whiskey, and coffee. Thank you. If you're a yoga teacher, a Pilates teacher, a personal trainer, or if you work one-on-one with clients, I have a 21-day private yoga business accelerator program starting soon. This is actually our 3rd batch of students we've done this year. It's such a simple, such an elegant program. I'm really excited about it. How it works is you give me 15 minutes every day, and for 21 days, I'll give you an assignment, a very simple assignment to do to move your private yoga teaching business forward. When I first started training teachers back in 2006, I discouraged everyone from teaching privates because it just didn't work. There wasn't a market for it. These days, there's a huge market for it with on-demand service industries like Uber and Airbnb and all the on-demand apps. People are very comfortable hiring private yoga teachers. So it's been really interesting to see the shift where there's actually more yoga happening outside of studios than inside. And we now have graduates and trainees teaching privately in big cities, which are kind of obvious, like London, New York, San Francisco, in medium-sized cities, but also in even towns and even villages. We have people working in towns that are as small as 5,000 people, and they have a healthy private yoga practice. The cool thing about a private yoga business is you usually just need 12 to 15 clients to be full. In my studios, we need hundreds of clients per studio just to keep the lights on. With private yoga, it's much simpler. In any case, if you'd like to learn more, go to myogabusiness.com, myogabusiness.com. This week's nutritional tip comes from Dana on Instagram. Dana says, Lucas, during the COVID-19 lockdown, I was one of those people that freaked out and filled the freezer and the pantry with food. So frozen vegetables, frozen meat, and then a whole bunch of canned beans and soups and things. Are these foods any good? What should I do after COVID? Should I eat them? Should I give them away? What are your thoughts? When we're looking at food quality, fresh is best, obviously. Fresh food tastes the best, and a lot of that flavor is connected to the nutrient density that our body picks up on and responds to really well. I'll give you an example. Like, imagine you're in a field and you're picking fresh blueberries. Hopefully you've done that at some point in your life, or fresh raspberries. The flavor is so intense, it's so rewarding. Now, a store-bought blueberry or raspberry, of course, is also delicious, but it's a magnitude less delicious than a fresh one. And the same is true with food. But don't beat yourself up about it. The important thing to remember is that fresh is best, frozen would be second in terms of preservation of nutrients, and then canned or jarred would be next on the list. You can totally live for a very long time. You can live forever just eating frozen food from a nutritional standpoint. Frozen food, particularly frozen vegetables and fruits,
tends to destroy their flavor profile. They tend to taste kind of limp and bland when they're reconstituted. But nutritionally, it's an amazing way to preserve nutrients. And so something like we were talking about berries, if the season is on, you can very often freeze berries at the peak of their ripeness and actually get a more nutritionally dense berry that's in the freezer than you could if you try to keep it in the fridge. It would just go bad or go off. You wouldn't be able to save it. So I wouldn't throw that food away. I would eat it. Frozen food, totally fine. And jarred and canned food, totally fine. With jarred and canned food, what people are most worried about is BPA linings, plastic linings on the inside of cans. That's most troubling for high acid foods like tomato sauces and things like that. Depending on where you are in the world, here in the Mediterranean, we have a lot of jarred foods, which kind of gets rid of that BPA option, the BPA concern. There's a little bit on the lid, but doesn't really come in contact with the food when it's being stored. So jarred food can be a good way to go. And again, while that might not be the most delicious food, nutritionally, there's a lot to it. So don't throw away your COVID food. Eat it. You'll be fine. It'll help you stay healthy. Thanks for the question, Dana. If you two have questions, you can message me on Instagram. It's at Lucas Rockwood. We have a listener question from Barry. Barry on Instagram says, Lucas, during home quarantine, I realized I was walking about 1,000 steps a day instead of my usual 8,000 to 10,000. I was not making it to the gym. Obviously, they're closed, and I couldn't really do much for exercise. Many of my friends and colleagues I know are doing online fitness videos, yoga classes, or Pilates. I just can't manage to motivate myself to press play and roll out the mat. Do you have suggestions? Barry, the first thing you should know is that you're not alone. Almost all at-home fitness involves a television or a monitor, a screen or an iPad or whatever it is, playing a fitness video, and then somebody dressed in some kind of fitness clothes, lying on the floor, checking Instagram, and pretending to exercise. The reality of the at-home fitness movement up until a couple of months ago was really a whole bunch of people watching fitness videos and simultaneously checking messages and pretending to work out. I'm happy to report this has changed. It's really changed because COVID was a forcing factor, and people realize if we don't move at home, we won't move at all. If we don't move at all, well, that's a terrible idea. So people are working out at home. I want to emphasize your experience is not unique. Most people hate working out alone. Most people have no fun with it at all. And most importantly, they can't stay motivated. It's not a character flaw. It's not about willpower. It's just how we're wired. We are social beings. So here's something that I would encourage you to do is use video. A couple of ideas. One, get a friend or a relative or somebody to practice whatever you're doing with you. So you call up your friend, get them on a video call, FaceTime, Skype, whatever you use, doesn't matter, and say, hey, hit play, and off you go. You're doing your 1 hour yoga class, you're doing your Pilates class, whatever it is. That can be a good way. What we've been doing is a lot of Zoom classes. So we're doing video-based classes where our students are also on the screen, and it's just been a complete game changer. I've been teaching online, of course, for a decade or something, but these Zoom classes change everything because I can look at you and say, Barry, straighten your legs, relax your head, spread your shoulders, and that little bit of accountability and that big amount of connection every day when you log into a class at 7 p.m. and you see the same group of 20 or 30 students, it just really changes everything. What is the future of fitness? Are all the gyms going to open up like before? Are all the CrossFit boxes and yoga studios going to reopen? I think maybe half of them will reopen. I think they're going to operate, yeah. Are they going to operate like before? I don't think so. I think there's going to be some dramatic changes. Lots of Lysol wipes, maybe a lot less people in the gym. What I do know is that things have changed permanently, and as that plays out, we'll see how big of a change it is, but I think all of us need to learn how to take care of ourselves at home, and that means fitness as well, and it means acknowledging basics of human behavior, which is we are social, and we need accountability. The best Olympic athletes in the world, they have coaches, and they can outperform their coach by a factor of 1,000, and yet they need that coach to look at them and say, Michael Phelps, do another 500, and then we'll call it a day. That's what you need, right? And so I would encourage you to play around with different formats. So try a buddy call and try some of these Zoom classes. I'm really finding it very, very valuable for that personal connection. Thanks for listening to The Lucas Rockwood Show. If you enjoy the podcast, I have 2 asks of you. Number 1, share the show on social media with your friends and tag me. My handle is @LucasRockwood. Number 2 is please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening on. And last but not least, before you go, if you'd like to be on my mailing list, every week I send out information about the podcast, behind the scenes stuff, announcements of online classes and special events. I email about once a week. You can do that at yogabody.com/sign me up. And right now we have a free breathing worksheet on that page as well. It's yogabody.com/sign me up. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.